Good morning and welcome to the Morning Scoop for Friday, May 7th. This is your daily Buckeye fix. I'm Tom Orr. The Minnesota game is in 118 days, the game against Michigan in 204 days. For the second time in the week, Ohio State just added a defensive back commit from the state of Florida. First, it was safety Key Stokes, and now Kai Stokes, sorry, not Key. And now it is cornerback Ryan Turner. Buckeye Scoop's Bill Greene just wrote up a post about a number of players in the state of Florida, including Turner. He joins me this morning. Bill, what are the Buckeyes getting in Ryan Turner?
Yeah, I talked to somebody that coaches him in 7-on-7, and they really like the kid. That South Florida Express 7-on-7 team, they've had NFL guys, going back to LaMarcus Joyner, and it's continued ever since then. So these guys know talent, and they like him. They think he might be a slot corner, but could play on the outside. They think he's solid, consistent, not the fastest guy in the world, but fast enough, but smart. And, they really like him a lot, and they're pretty bold in their evaluations. They don't hold back. They don't have to. I don't use their name. They wouldn't care if I did use their name. And, when you deal with Miami people, there's not a lot of gray. They like what they like. They hate what they hate. And they like Ryan Turner. And they really did talk about, the family he comes from, being a great family, both parents, professional people. And, they thought there was a lot to like with Ryan Turner, and I think he can be a starter at Ohio State and do really well.
Yeah, Mark and Tony and I went to a South Florida Express practice at one point when we were down there for the national championship game. And, I was just kind of like a fly on the wall listening to Mark talk to some of their coaches. And it was like, oh yeah, like there is some unvarnished truth there. Like,
oh yeah,
they like what they like and they don't like what they don't like. But yeah, there is a ton of talent there. That was not even, I think that was like a tryout day or something. So it wasn't even like the A-level talent was there necessarily. And it was like, man, there's a lot of good players on this field right now.
You're not going to get any coach speak from those coaches. You're just not. They don't care. I mean, they're pretty bold, and, and they're really sharp too. That's the thing I like about them. You can be bold, but if you don't know talent, why am I talking to you? But these guys know talent. And they also know where these kids are going to go. They especially know when you get into November, they got them all nailed. I told you about interviewing Carlton Davis 2 weeks before signing day, and I did a video interview with him for Scout, and he just gushed about Ohio State, how he couldn't wait to get there, couldn't wait to play for the Buckeyes, loved the program, la, la, la. Turned the recorder off. He walked away, and one of those coaches said, that was a good interview, wasn't it? I said, it was a great interview. He said, well, you don't think he's going to Ohio State, do you? And I'm like, well, of course he is. And they said, no, he's not going to Ohio State. It'll be Miami or Auburn. Ohio State's out. This is like 2 weeks or 10 days before signing day. And I thought, man, I hate to doubt these guys, but I think they're wrong on this one. And sure enough, Carlton Davis went to Auburn. Ohio State was out. So, I trust these guys explicitly in their evaluations and when they tell me where somebody's going to college. So,
well, and I mean, if you're going to trust in the evaluations, there were some real encouraging comps thrown on Ryan Turner with some of the folks you talked to.
Yeah.
Someone compared him to Vernon Hargraves, which is a name people who follow OSU recruiting might remember. He was a 5-star corner in the class of 2013. He ended up picking Florida. Just finished his 6th NFL season, started 16 games last year. Turner's rankings right now are nowhere near where Hargraves were, but if he ends up anywhere close to that level, I would assume the Ohio State coaching staff would just be ecstatic with that.
No doubt. No doubt.
What is it about his game that compares to like a Vernon Hargraves?
Well, I thought they looked at him from a size perspective, and as well as the athletic ability, and that, they always looked at Hargrave as a slot corner, not really made for playing on the outside, when he was a younger guy. So I think they see Ryan that way now, with his physical build. And I did ask him on his height, and they said he is a legit 5'11", because over the years, I've seen enough of these 6 foot tall guys that are 5'8.5", 5'9". I've seen a million of them. I don't go by what's listed in the database that, Rivals or 24/7 or, so they said legit 5'11". So we'll see. Like I say, if he turns out to be Vernon Hargraves, Kerry Combs and Ryan Day are going to be very, very happy men.
They've just added 2 corners or 2 defensive backs this week, which I think when we heard that the recruiting period was going to open back up in June, my assumption was, okay, it'll kind of be all quiet on the Western Front until visits open up, and then it's going to be pandemonium. So are you kind of surprised that guys are committing right now before the visits open up? Or is this just guys who are pretty sure they know where they're going, just locking up those spots before all the pandemonium starts in June?
Yeah, with Ryan Turner, Ryan had visited Ohio State, I think 2-3 weeks ago, a month ago, unofficial. You can't take visits yet, but he was pretty set that he wanted to be at Ohio State. And I don't know that he tried to commit a few weeks ago, but he might have. But the coach that I talked to told me that, Ryan kind of made it known that if Ohio State's not prepared to take him now, he was going to go ahead and commit to Clemson. Clemson was his number 2. Ohio State, his clear number 1, but he wants to be committed now. He is not the typical, South Florida kid that is going to play this thing out till, the morning of signing day and then make a choice. That's not Ryan. Ryan wants this done now. And I think he put the ball in Ohio State's court to where you either got to take him or he's going to commit to Clemson and, you risk losing him. So I think that's how it all came down with Ryan. With Kai Stokes, I don't know. I don't have a lot of info there. And, it looked to me like they offered him. And within a few days, he took it. And then, maybe they weren't ready for that commitment. And it was one of those things like, what do we do? What do we do? Do we tell him no? Do we hold him off and maybe we lose him? Or, do we like him enough to take him on May 1? And obviously the answer was yes. So, and I'm not sure when they offered him that they thought a commitment was coming that soon. But they need DBs in this class. I mean, they could take 5 for sure. Could take 5 here. They got guys on the roster that they're concerned with. Let's put it that way. Not sold on, maybe. So they're going to take 5 in this class, I believe. So I think they're both good additions.
Well, Turner's commitment could have an impact on another big name player from Florida, Kenyatta Jackson. He's a 4-star defensive end, top 100 kid from the same high school as Turner, so their high school teammates. So, I know the concept of a package deal with teammates going to school together is not something you generally buy into, but it sounds like it could have at least some kind of impact here.
Yeah, I don't buy into it. I never buy into package deals. I mean, guys don't marry sisters. They don't buy houses next door to each other, and they're still friends and they care about each other. But the only thing I would say in package deals is when a kid is going far from home, if he does have a buddy there that's either on the roster, got there before he did, a year before, or a guy that is, going to be there with him, that could make the difference as a tiebreaker. I don't think kids, nobody would pick, Kenyatta Jackson is not going to pick Ohio State if he doesn't think Ryan Day is a good coach, if he thinks Larry Johnson's an old fool, and if he thinks Ohio State's too cold and he hates the Big Ten, but hey, Ryan's going to be there, so I have to go there. No, that ain't going to happen. But if it's close between Oklahoma or Florida and Ohio State, and you're looking for a tiebreaker somewhere, having a buddy there, a friend there, a little bit of comfort, I think could make the difference in that case. So in that respect, I would pay close attention to someone, having a friend at that school when you're going to go 1,000 miles from home.
The 2 guys who committed this week were the 2nd and 3rd defensive backs from the state of Florida committed to the Buckeyes 2022 class. The first, of course, was Jaheim Singletary. He is a 5-star prospect ranked as the number 13 player overall in the class. You got some real positive reports on him. And it sounds like it's from someone who has told you in the past that some of the, other guys who, were ranked in that neighborhood are not necessarily as good as the rankings would suggest. It sounds like there is no concern like that about Jaheim Singletary.
Yeah, Miami people look down on the Jacksonville high school. They think Miami's got the greatest players in the country year after year after year. And they really do look down on the Jacksonville area. And I try to judge kids not from where they're from, but how they play. And we've argued before, they told me from day one that Tyreek Johnson cannot play dead in a cowboy movie. They said, I don't care if he's a 5-star, he can't play. And they told me that about Sean Wade. And of course, I argued with them. And then Sean was doing, had a pretty good couple of years at Ohio State. And they were like, just wait. And then, of course, last year, I haven't heard the end of that, they said, we told you, can't play, And so, but they love Jaheim Singletary. To the guys in Miami, he's the real deal. He is a true number 1 corner that, you line him up when you're playing Alabama, he takes Devontae Smith. So that's the way they see Jaheim Singletary. And that was, that was good to hear from them, and like I said, these are brutally honest people. They can be wrong, just like all of us can be, but they're never wrong with an agenda. When they like someone, they like them. When they don't, they don't.
I can, having listened to some of the tone of the conversation during that practice we were at, that doesn't seem like people that'd be that fun to have them on you about something about, hey, remember when we told you? Like, yeah, when you say that they let you know, like I can definitely in my head hear exactly how they would let you know. It sounds yeah, we don't use those words on this kind of podcast, but yeah, you get.
I don't use those words, but yeah, I had to clean up my blog yesterday.
Yeah.
It was a good thing that it was printed and not a Zoom or not a Zoom thing, because we would have had to bleep it all out.
So what is allowing Ohio State to have this kind of success in Florida right now? I mean, that's obviously a state. This is not the first time they've pulled kids out of Florida, obviously, right. But has this become more of a target area for them recently? Is this just a Kerry Combs, recruiting dynamo thing? Like what is it that's allowing them to have this kind of success in Florida, especially in the defensive backs?
Yeah, I think it's Kerry Combs. I think he can go anywhere in America and go head to head with whoever he wants to go head to head with. He is that good of a recruiter. I don't know what makes the difference between Kerry Combs and the others. I don't know. I know Taver Johnson very well. I know Kerry a little bit, and I've known Kerry since he coached Coleraine, back in the early 2000s. And I don't know what the difference is there. I mean, they're both great guys, both personable, both fun to be around, both good coaches, but Kerry's a much better recruiter than Taver, and that's just the way it is. So Kerry Combs, you can send him anywhere. If there's a guy you want in California, Ryan Day likes in California, the DB, then you send Kerry after him and you got a shot. So he's just a great recruiter.
Well, Bill's article, you can find that is on our Ask the Insiders board. He had 3 or 4 other names to know. Real good insight into how much of a concern is it with some of these guys who are committed in terms of being a potential flip away from Ohio State. Some real good insight there. He also had his world famous Thursday chat yesterday as well. That's always fun. I every time I open up Buckeye Scoop, I was getting ready to tweet out yesterday's morning scoop. And I sat down at my computer and I opened Buckeye Scoop and I said, I'll just check the board real quick. And then I sat there reading your chat for, I don't know, half an hour. And I was like, oh, crap, I forgot to tweet out the link to the morning scoop. You sucked me in again. So that is always a fantastic thing to get to enjoy throughout the day on Thursdays. But you can only enjoy it if you're a member of BuckeyeScoop.com. That is loads of exciting benefits that come along with that. We just introduced gold pants on the message board. So if you sign up before June 4th, our 1-year anniversary, you can add a pair of gold pants to your message board handle, which is I think people are going crazy for that. I think that looks pretty cool. So you can do that at BuckeyeScoop.com. Also, make sure you check out all of our great podcasts. Bill and Mark Givler, we talked about the Scoop 100 earlier this week. Bill and Mark Givler are still working through that Scoop 100 this week. To run down all of those players. That has been a really fun podcast series as well. And also you can make sure you find our YouTube channel at youtube.com/BuckeyeScoop. Just hit that subscribe button so that you get notified every time we post a new video. All of our podcasts are there. Interviews with players and coaches, highlight videos, camp videos. It's all there. youtube.com/BuckeyeScoop. All you have to do is subscribe. That'll do it for today. That'll do it for this week. Thank you guys all for joining us. Have a great day. We will talk to you on Monday.